long road ahead. I knew that a lot of people had gone unpunished for the crimes that they had committed, but the law was too scared to do anything about it. I knew there was only one person that I could turn to in this time to help me track down a bounty, and it was my job to track him down so that he could help me track down the killers. I knew something had to be done about a certain in particular who had eluded me for 2 years straight. Joshua Crabtree. There was no way that I could let him live after what he had done. I had to make sure that he couldn't harm any more other people. So many families lay devastated after the crimes he committed, burning places to the ground, robbing banks, killing children. I knew the person I needed to help me find him was Samuels. I was following up a lead that could lead me to Samuels, but I just didn't know what to expect. Samuels had obviously been here, quite possibly recently. There's just no way of telling how long he'd been gone. See that his drinking habits were still pretty good. He always kept one by his bedside just in case he needed to forget things. He was a troubled man, trying to forget a troubling time in his life. I searched for clues. When or where he had gone, but alas came up empty. I don't know what to do now. I had no choice. I was just gonna have to scout around. Sam never left clues about where he was going. I guess I would just have to check all his favorite hunting grounds. As because of him being retired, that's all he used to like doing. Obviously, I wasn't gonna let Crabtree get away. I was one of the fastest guns in the West, and I needed to catch his trail. Every time I got close, one of his people got away. I had to make sure that I could get to Crabtree before anything bad happened. Knew if I followed the train tracks I would find a town somewhere nearby. Maybe I could find Samuels. But I would have to ask some questions, maybe pay off a couple of people. See what intel I could grab. I found myself in Strawberry, a little town, trying to find some intel on Samuel. Folks didn't seem too bothered by my presence, considering I was a bounty hunter. But you know, some people, they just prefer not to know nothing. I should see what kind of intel I can get in here. Local bar.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning. I'm looking for a deputy. Well, an ex-deputy. His name's Samuel Samuels.
Left town last night and took that whore with him.
I killed bigger folks than you already today. Now,
Come on!
Nobody pulls a gun out on me. Samuel Samuels was nowhere to be found. He was a very hard man to track down. But I was coming close. Anyway, I needed a little bit of extra money, so I was tracking this bounty. His name was Daniels McCoy. He killed people, burned some homes down to the ground for no reason, and I really hoped that I had found him at this train station. The train was here, and it seems I just found my target. That's another one down for the books. Zacky's got a friend somewhere. Had to make sure that his friend couldn't go back and tell the posse. Either way, my work here was done. And I was going to get some more money so I could continue my search for Samuels. And again, I had come close to Samuels' location, but I needed a bit of more assurance. There was a man on this train that I needed to kill. I'd been given intel that this guy was here. And by God, I was not going to let him get away. It seemed as though the train was empty. And my luck had run out. It was quite possible that I was given false intel, which would not bode well for the person who gave that intel for me. Although I had been told that the man I was trying to hunt down was indeed, in fact, a train driver, but we were too close to town for me to even think. There was no choice. I had to stay on the train. Came to an old town where Samuels used to live, hoping to find some answers. Finally find my friend. Hopefully this is the town where I could finally get the answers I required. I'd reached the old saloon. And my God, was this town a wreck since I left. How you going, bartender? I'll use a drink, thanks. The only way to actually get any questions answered was to have a few drinks first. So, I'm looking for an old friend of mine. His name's Samuel Samuels. You heard anything? I'd been told that Samuels had stayed at this inn. Howdy. I've been told he'd been staying here the last couple of nights. Tracking. search for his room. Just trying to find evidence that he might have been here. The drawers contained nothing. He took most of his things with him. But the book he left behind was a sign that he was ready to move on. He never took any books with him once he finished them. Turns out he had been there. That book was one of his favorites while he was still reading it. Now, he must be hunting somewhere close to this town. I will find him. And we will get Joshua Crabtree. Turns out I was in a bit more trouble than I thought I was. Calling for my trusty steed, hoping it gets here in time. That's right. We need to go. We're in trouble here. Let's get out of here. Finally off. On the right way to find Samuel Samuels. Let's just hope I find him in time before Joshua Crabtree kills anyone else who's innocent.